Yo, what's up YouTube? Before we start, make sure y'all smash that like button for more fire content. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. For all the newcomers, welcome to Team Eyeland. If you haven't yet, be sure to follow Team Eyeland on the IG page. There's a lot of great content on that page, and also I'm always active, so if you have any questions, be sure to DM me. Alright now, let's talk about this video. We got another great one for y'all. Today I'll be sharing key tips to being a lockdown press corner. If you add these tips to your game, it will take your game to the next level. Remember, there's so many different techniques out there, and these tips will work with all techniques. Alright now, let's learn and get better today. Before we start, we first got to learn a proper press stance, right? We want to be in a stance where we're comfortable, but also powerful, right? So, we want to be in a position where we're be able to move laterally quickly and be effective with it. I've seen a lot of crazy stances, right? Some people line up too wide, too narrow, right? So we have to find a balance between the two. So we're gonna have our feet shoulder width apart, right? And then we wanna have most of our weight on the inside ball of our feet, right? So we can move laterally quickly. So now we sink our butt down, right? Sink our butt down, chest up. We wanna have a nice flat back, right? Now, it depends to what you want. If you prefer to put your hands up or down, I personally prefer to keep my hands low and ready, so I purposely move my feet before I shoot my hands, right? So make sure your feet are pointed straight, right? You don't want it sideways, you want to point them straight. Before we line up, we have to read where the receiver is aligned. If he's at the top of the numbers, bottom of the numbers, close to the hash, away from the hash, we have to know this so we can determine what routes to expect. Receiver is aligned, right? So I get in my press stance. As I'm in my press stance, I'm thinking of 3 routes the receiver can run, right? A short, intermediate, or deep, right? So now, for example, if I'm at the top of the numbers, I'm thinking outside routes, right? So I'm thinking a speed out, a comeback, or a fade. Now, if the receiver lines up at the bottom of the numbers, right? I'm thinking inside routes, so I'm thinking slant, curl, dig maybe, or post. When we're in press, our feet always have to move before our hands, right? Our hands alone is not gonna be able to stop somebody who's running full speed at us. So when in press, you want the receiver to go around your tee, right? Imagine you being a tee. You want him going around your tee, because the quickest way to point A to point B is a straight line, right? So if he goes around your tee, it disrupts his timing and the route. So during the receiver's release, right, we wanna work laterally and shuffle 45, right? Or kick step 45, whatever you guys prefer to do. The reason why is if you cross over and the receiver undercuts you, you have to either bring this leg back or you have to speed turn. You already lost 2, maybe 1 to 2 steps. So we have to be very technically sound in our press technique and staying square and keeping our hips forward and shuffling with the receiver. So now when we're ready, when we're moving our feet and we're ready to strike, right? You want to strike with your palms up, thumb up, palms up, right? Make sure you aim for the upper chest area, right? Because if you aim for the shoulders, you could possibly miss, and that's a big deal, right? So you want to aim for the chest, aim big, right? Aim for the big chest, right? So now you shuffle it on, get your hands on him, get your hands on him. Now he just clears his release, right? Now you got your hands on his chest. If he swipe it down, just bring it back down, right? But you keep your hand there, right back down, and now you're running with the receiver. So now we're in the press, right? So he's giving us a release. So if he goes inside, right, we want to use our outside hand, right? And we want to shuffle. Now, if he gives us an outside release, we want to use our inside hand, and we're shuffling with him because we want to make him go around our tee.
This is a Chucky Beat production.
The only time we use our inside hand for his inside release is if we're lining up heavy inside, forcing an outside release. Now, the only time we're using the outside hand is we're lining up outside leverage of the receiver, forcing an inside release. When in press, we have to read the hip, the nearest hip of the receiver. The reason why we're reading the nearest hip is because if we see the nearest hip, we're staying square. If the hip disappear, now this is determined where the receiver is going. So we want him to go around our tee, and we're going to meet him at a point. Now, if the receiver wants to go back outside, right, if that hip, he has to bring that hip around this way. And we're going to be in great position because if we're shuffling 45 degrees and meeting him at a point, he's going to run right back into us. So vice versa, right? So if it's outside release, we're reading nearest hip, and we're going with the nearest hip. If the hip disappears, it's an inside route. So we'll be in great position because we made the receiver go around our tee. So now the receiver gave us an outside release, right? So now we're running receiver, we gotta break a hand down, right? So as we're running receiver, I'm gonna tell you guys a secret. What I like to do is for outside releases, I'm running with receiver, I'm beating the receiver's hip. So I'm slowing him down and I'm also feeling the receiver, right? So now we get into 5 yards, we're reading his hip. If his hip drop, we drop, right? So now we pass 5 yards, all short routes are eliminated. So as he's running, we're getting at 10, 12, 15 yards. If his hip drop, we drop. If it doesn't, now all intermediate routes are gone. Now we're all expecting deep routes.
Get to it. Come on back. Come on back. There you go. Nice. Hey, that's beautiful. That's beautiful right there.
So now it's an inside release, right? So now we can't really beat the receiver's hip. So we're reading the receiver's hip, watching the nearest hip, but we're working to the top field shoulder of the receiver, right? So as we're running with the receiver, if we can see the ball and he looks back and we look back and we can see the ball, we can undercut and make the play. If you can't, just run with the receiver and play the ball through the receiver's hands. Now, if you add all these tips together, hopefully y'all be making plays like this. That's the end of the video. Y'all take it easy and enjoy y'all day. Peace.